There's 29 handshakes from Thomas Cranmer, who wrote our first prayer book, 53 handshakes from Thomas Becket, Henry II's troublesome priest, 90 from Augustine of Canterbury, who arrived in Britain in 597, and then 156 from the room that we just read about. That's romantic. I'll admit it's romantic, although I should say, and I mean this with great love for our tradition, that the chain is romantically unbroken, which is my polite way of saying I'm not sure that it's totally unbroken, but the romance of it matters. The long line of it matters. The idea that what happened in that room is still happening, still being passed forward, still landing here in this room on this Sunday matters. But so what? A wandering mind and a search engine could get you that far. Because it got me that far. Let me tell you what actually matters. It is not the chain of hands who makes us who we are. It's that water that you passed on the way in. There's an Israeli poet named Yehuda Amichai. He died in 2000, but he wrote a poem about his father, and he said, "The memory of my father is wrapped up in white paper, like sandwiches taken for a day at work. Just as a magician takes towers and rabbits out of his hat, he drew love from his small body, and the rivers of his hands overflowed with good deeds." The rivers of his hands overflowed with good deeds. For 2,000 years, people have been coming to Jesus thirsty, and for 2,000 years, something has been flowing back. Jesus stood in the temple on the last day of the feast, and he cried out. Not said, cried out, which means he was loud, which means people turned and stared. "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink, and out of the believer's heart shall flow rivers of living water." Not a trickle, not enough to get by. Rivers, gushing, spilling, overflowing rivers. That same Jesus who sat with the Samaritan woman at the well in the middle of the day, a woman who had every reason to expect judgment and received instead an offer. That Jesus told her, "Anyone who drinks the water I give will never thirst again. It will become a spring inside you, welling up, endless, inexhaustible. That is your inheritance, not 155 names. The water. Your pedigree, if you want to talk about pedigree, includes everyone who's ever passed through the living waters of baptism and let those waters flow outward through their hands. Dorothy Day, who fed the hungry and got arrested for it and didn't apologize. Absalom Jones, the first African-American priest in the Episcopal Church, bought his own freedom and then spent the rest of his life working for everyone else's. William Wilberforce, who was told to sit down and be quiet about slavery for 20 years and refused. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Thurgood Marshall, Jonathan Myrick Daniels, an Episcopal seminarian from Keene, who stepped in front of a shotgun blast meant for a 16